Hey everybody, as promised, I'm going to do the same thing real quickly. I'm going to run through those triads that I spelled out on the whiteboard, and I'm going to do it through the scale, alright, so that you can see how this is happening. Alright, so we know our C scale, and we know one place to play it off of the 6th string is starting here at the 8th fret, playing the 8, the 10, next string, the 7, the 8, and the 10. And on the next string, we're going to play the 7, the 9, and the 10, right? Do, ra, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? So anyhow, right here is your 8 and your 1, right? Your 2nd, your 3rd, your 4th, your 5th, your 6th, your 7th, your 8th, alright? We do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why is that important? Because we're going to step through those triads through the scale. Alright, so we have a root right here. Alright, we need a 1, 3, 5. We're going to skip this one. We're going to go to that next string. Then we're going to skip that 4th and we're going to play the 5th. So the 1, 3, 5 triad sounds like this. Alright, we go over to well, I'll do that later. Alright, so right there you got your C, your E, and your G. That's your C major. We step over to the 2nd now, or excuse me, the 2nd. Alright, we can play it right here. Alright, we're going to skip that 3rd, we're going to hit that 4th, and then we don't need the 5th, we need the 6th. That's your D minor. Alright, we're going to roll over to that 3rd. Alright, we're going to skip the 4th. We're going to hit that 5th. We're going to skip the 6th and we're going to hit the 7th. Whoops. There's your E minor. Alright, so now we went through the 1, 2, 3. We're going on to the 4th, which is F. We're going to skip that 5th, and we're going to hit that 6th, and we need that 8th. So that would be the 1, 3, 5 of that chord, which is F, A, C. Okay, now we go on to the G. Alright, so we got the 5th interval. Here's our G. We don't need the 6th. We now need that 7th. We don't need the 8 or the 1. We need that 9 or the 2. So that scale goes on. Alright, so now we're here. And we need this. That's that G major triad. Okay, now we go over here to the A. We need the A, which is the 6th. We don't need that 7th. We need that 8th. We don't need that 9th. We need that 10th, and that 10th is nothing more than the 3rd, right? There's your A minor. Okay, we're going to roll on to the B, and that's where we get that diminished. I've already explained the diminished is kind of weird. You end up with a flatted 3rd and a flatted 5. We're not really going to use that in most music, but I'm going to go ahead and show you that triad real quick. So you have that D, excuse me, sorry, you have that B, and we can play that up here, or we can play it down here. We'll go ahead and play it here. So, excuse me. There's your B. We don't need that 8. We need that 9. We don't need that 10. We need that 11. And that is your B, your D, and your F. Alright, so there, real quick, I ran through how You saw the theory when I spelled it out on the whiteboard. This is practical application when I spelled it out through the scale, and you can hear those tonal changes every time I step through one of those triads. So real quick, let me summarize. When I step through each interval, starting from each interval, so the 1 3 5, the 2 4 6, the 3 5 7, etc., those are pulling out those intervals inside that C. Every time that one of those intervals is considered the root, its chord is built off of 1 3 5. Alright, so a 2 4 6 in C is the 1 3 5 of D. Okay, it may seem confusing at first, but if you just sit back and kind of absorb that, you can see how that's going. I went plus 1. Alright, 1 3 5 plus 1 is 2 4 6. Alright, so I go to the third interval. I need to add 2, because 1 plus 2, the root plus 2 is going to be the third. That's going to be your 3 5 7, etc., etc. Which are, so the 3 5 7 in C is the 1 3 5 of that third interval. All right. The more times you say it, the more times it will sink in, and it'll start to make sense. All right. I'm going to go ahead here in the next few minutes and pop out some close-ups for the chords for you guys, and then you guys will have the key of C and the key of A minor under your belt, at least in the open positions. Later on, we'll talk about other voicings, other types of chords, which are called inverted chords, where you change relative to the bass note where the root is, where the fifth is, and where the third is, so what gets the bassier sound. But for right now, this is plenty. I'm also got a whole segment coming up on bar chords. Alright, hope to see you soon. Take care.